I'm gonna sing a Pollen song here. Pollen Dance. Our next dance will be the Apache Crown Dancers. These are the most popular dance that we have in our traditional ceremonies. A lot of Apache people believe these guys as they're spirits that come from the deepest part of the ocean. They're spirits that come to us from the cave in the mountains. They live in the caves. And the elder was telling me one time that the caves, once you go into their cave, there's a whole bunch of different rooms. There's a tunnels that go here, here, here. The first one sits in the very first part of that room, that first dancer. And in the spiritual world, when you go into the first one's cave, he'll be sitting there like a giant, big old giant, you know, where these body paints are not pink. They're not pink, he told me. Their body paints, they come from white hair. White, long hair. Almost, you picture of it as Bigfoot, you know, how he has all those hairs. And where the drawings are on their bodies, these symbols, you know, that part, he will have black hair right there forming those symbols. And so that's how big these crown dancers are in the spiritual world. And a lot of elders teach us that you're not supposed to be laughing or mocking them in any kind of way. But the elder told me it's okay for these younger ones to start doing this, because where else and how else are they going to learn who they are? Back in the day, it was important, and the reason why the kids weren't supposed to be around these dancers, you know, and there's a reason. But nowadays, there are a lot of different groups out there, and, you know, they're doing it. They're saying they're learning, but the singers are younger than me, the ones that are doing it. And the way I see it, they're just risking a whole lot of it when they're pushing themselves toward these and they don't know what they're doing. And so I've learned a whole lot about these guys here, the spiritual world, back in my younger days. And so I know quite a bit about these guys, and I'm still learning, because we all learn from our mistakes. As we're growing old, we still have a lot of things to learn yet. You know, it's a never-ending teachings that we all go through. And so I'm going to be growing old with this. And so these guys are, two of them are my sons, and the other two are my wife's nephew. So this is basically a group of a family, this crown dance here. And so the first dancer there, he has the crown of an eagle. That's because on the mom's side, they're eagle clan, all of them. And so that's why they have that first dancer representing an eagle. And then on my side, my two sons, they're Roadrunner clan. Roadrunner is Naruto-san. And then the eagle side, they're Tokayin. That's what their clans are. So I created this group, and a reason why I created this group, I want to teach them well. I want to teach them respect. Somewhere, somehow, the respect has got to be taught again somehow. And plus, the disciplining of these young ones. And so, the mistakes they do throughout doing this, make them go against the wall and do the squats, where they're staying down and squat like that and hold a book. They don't like that. But if they don't like that, you know, I tell them, think about what you did wrong. You know, you gotta steer yourself towards the good side again, you know. And so that's how they're learning, you know, without, you know, spanking them or whatever. Back in the day, I used to get spanked too myself. I've lived through that. And so nowadays, once you do that, you know, these kids are very well protected nowadays, because they're protected like that. Maybe some went overboard, that's where they started being protected. But if you're gonna discipline them in that way, spanking them, you know, you can't really overdo it. You gotta spank them and talk to them and let them know what they did wrong. And this is why I did this to you. You just understand that. Next time, don't do that. You know, you're supposed to talk to them instead of yelling at them, getting mad at them. You know, sometimes it really gets to you when these kids are really like annoying. It gets annoying when they're calling you constantly. They get annoying when they're mad at each other in front of, you know, the parents. And so, you know, it's very hard. But you gotta find a way and discipline them in a good way, is what I'm saying. But these guys, the way I discipline them is have them stand against the wall and do their squats, and they don't like it. A lot of the kids I've taught back at school and civic crew, you know, that's the way I used to discipline them. That's how they used to really listen and have that respect. And I've learned a lot by doing that, as becoming a parent to my kids. You know, it's a better way than, you know, laying a hand on them. So teach your kids, teach your younger ones, because you never know, you overdo it, they might think of themselves, you know, nobody likes me, everybody hates me. We don't want them to go that far. You know, that's why we have these programs on our reservations, Apache Behavioral Health, you know, the treatment centers, you know, is to kind of cope with their mind and help them out throughout their lifetime as they grow old. And so there's a lot that's going on. That's why, you know, it's kind of hard to really say everybody's going to be good, because a lot of us, we still sin. We're all sinners, brothers and sisters in Christ. We're all sinners, but always remember to pray for one another. Pray for yourself, pray for your family. And thank you guys for having us out here. So we're going to be singing the 4 crown dance songs here for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the dance here and also pray with us here. So